1MDB has sparked embezzlement and money laundering investigations across
one
at
of the
least
biggest
10
corruption
countries.
scandals the world has ever seen.
What may be the biggest financial scam in history.
A number of corrupt 1MDB officials treated this public trust as a personal bank account.
Follow us as we bring you into the courtroom where the biggest financial scandal in Malaysian history is being heard. By the Malaysian Insight, this is the Najib Razak 1MDB trial, and I'm Patrick Teo. Former One Malaysia Development Bhd 1MDB chairman Mohd Bakke Salleh told the High Court today that parts of his testimony to the Public Accounts Committee was omitted. The 68-year-old corporate figure, who is now the Petronas chairman, said that a lot of what he had mentioned during the PAC proceedings into the 1MDB fiasco was not included. It's Tuesday, May 17th, and Najib's trial resumed at the Kuala Lumpur High Court this morning. Najib is standing trial for graft involving 2.28 billion ringgit in 1MDB funds. He faces 25 charges, 4 for abuse of power and 21 for money laundering, for offences committed between 2011 and 2013. Bakke is the prosecution's 15th witness. Najib's lawyer, Muhammad Shafi Abdullah, and Bakke got into a heated argument over the PAC report during cross-examination today. Shafi asked if Bakke stood by his testimony during the PAC investigation. You said in your testimony that, with the benefit of hindsight, you lost your cool and were flabbergasted with the management for disobeying the Board of Directors' orders. You also said that you should not have resigned, but before Shafi could go further, Bakke interjected, telling Shafi not to put words in his mouth. My memory is still okay. I don't know where you are plucking this from. I had said with the benefit of hindsight, I should not have served in 1MDB, Bakke told the lawyer. Judge Colin Lawrence Akera then told Bakke that as a witness, he had to answer the questions posed to him. Bakke replied that he stood by his testimony, but added that the full statement for the proceedings was not in the report. The PAC report on 1MDB was released in April 2016. According to the PAC, the briefings were carried out with the Treasury's Secretary General and the Economic Planning Unit's Director General. This was followed by interviews with Bakke and former Chief Executive Officer Sharul Azral Ibrahim Haumi. However, the report did not implicate Najib in the Sovereign Wealth Fund scandal. The PAC had identified 1MDB management's failure to invest without any due diligence being conducted, namely pumping in $1 billion in a joint venture with Petro Saudi International Limited. Bakke was let go after a while, and former 1MDB Chief Financial Officer Azmi Tahir took the stand. Lead prosecutor Gopal Sriram re-examined Azmi, who was the prosecution's 12th witness. Sriram started by asking Azmi if he had received any money that was siphoned off 1MDB. Azmi said he didn't even get 1 cent from any money. Sriram then asked Azmi if he had personally obtained any money, and did he conspire with fugitive businessman Low Tik Joe to siphon money from 1MDB. Definitely not even a cent, Azmi told Sriram. The lead prosecutor then asked Azmi if he was ever reprimanded for any of his actions. To this, Azmi replied, no. He then asked Azmi if he raised any concerns on 1MDB with Najib. It was put to you that on no occasion did you go to Najib to raise concerns about 1MDB, Sriram said. It was put to you that you had on several occasions where you could have done it, but you didn't. When you have been accused of doing what you did Najib ever reprimand you in respect of any of it? The lawyer quizzed. Azmi answered that he never raised any issues with Najib and said that his contract was renewed. Sriram asked Azmi if Najib had called and questioned him about irregularities at 1MDB. I don't recall him questioning the irregularities which came up in the papers, Azmi answered. If you were called, would you have gone? Sriram asked. Azmi replied that he doesn't see how he could have refused. With that, proceedings ended for the day. The trial will resume tomorrow. Thank you for listening. This podcast was brought to you by the Malaysian Insight. It was written by Noel Acharyam and I'm Patrick Teo.